Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. It is a beautiful Saturday afternoon. It's just about 12:15. I'm at the corner of Bathurst and Lawrence, and it's pretty busy, as you can see. It is a really nice afternoon. Yesterday I was out and I drove because it was crazy windy out. So I did a couple of errands and sort of did a bonehead move yesterday. Looking at Google, it said that, or when I googled Yorkdale Mall, it said that Yorkdale Mall was open, but I should know better because anyway, I went to Yorkdale yesterday. Thank goodness I drove and didn't walk, but I went to Yorkdale yesterday. And of course it was closed. The only thing that was open was the theaters and I think restaurants. Anyhow, I needed to get my car out to get some exercise, so my car at least got some exercise yesterday. This just looks a little bit precarious, doesn't it? These cars inching their way out. So today is such a nice day. Of course, that just inspires me to walk. This is, I think, yeah, what is this? This is called Lawrence Plaza. And Bathurst, of course, is right at the lights. You can see there's a Metro, a Winners, LCBO, and all kinds of little shops. Scotiabank, Shoppers Drug Mart. I used to come here actually a lot. They used to have a really good place to buy towels and such. Just across, yeah, just across the way there, one of those little shops. But that has long since gone. So I walked from home up to the starting point, and didn't want to record the whole walk because maybe a bit boring, but there's a little bit more to see here now that we're on Lawrence. So the good thing about walking to Yorkdale is avoiding trying to find a place to park on a Saturday, because it can be crazy at Yorkdale on the weekends. So I typically ride my bike or walk to Yorkdale. It's about an hour and a half walk from me door to door. But the sky, as you can see, pointing up, hopefully the camera will pick up the dark clouds. I don't necessarily want to walk home if it's raining hard. I'm just cutting through here on Brucewood Court. So Glenmont Avenue to the south and then Brucewood Court to the north. I just want to get off of Lawrence because it is really noisy. I'll take you down a quiet street, and then the rest of the walk will be pretty quiet. But I like this neighborhood up here. Yeah, so I think I might have to take the subway home if it gets any darker. It's going to start raining, and I didn't bring an umbrella. I'm not sure why I didn't. Normally I'm pretty prepared, but clearly not today. I hope everybody is doing well. Look at that beautiful dog. How gorgeous she is. Wow. Or she's a he, actually. Gorgeous black and white tuxedo dog. When critters are black and white, I typically refer to them as tuxedo critters. So this street is, you know, just one block north off of Lawrence, and it's super quiet and all residential. And the camera audio probably won't pick it up, but I can hear, of course, the hum of Lawrence Avenue. So I'm hoping to go up flying with David tomorrow, depending on the weather and if he can book a plane. But I'd like to record, certainly visual, not audio, but I'd like to record being up in the air with David. We've done a city tour, and it's very pretty. It's so nice to see the city from the air. But I can only record it visually, not the audio. I'm going to have to find a way to dub out the audio because it's really noisy in these little 172 planes. I think it's a Cessna 172. It's a 4-seater, and basically you wear the plane. That's how tiny they are. They're super tiny. Yeah, you wear the plane. And so David, for those of you who may not know, David's my husband, and he is a pilot, not as a career, but he flies for pleasure. And he was hoping maybe to go up tomorrow, and I'll tag along and see about recording up in the air. We can do a city tour. That would mean, you know, seeing the CN Tower and sort of that direction, downtown area. But we'd be flying out of Oshawa, so going southwest. So fingers crossed. So if we can't do it tomorrow, I will definitely do a video up in the air at some point. I should probably tell you what street I'm walking on. And here's a street sign up here. Lynnhaven Road and Kirkland Boulevard. So the street that I'm walking on is Kirkland Boulevard. This is just a detour. How I get to Yorkdale is just through a lot of side streets to avoid the hustle and bustle of the main roads. And I know the videos aren't quite as exciting when we're on these little side streets, but just thought I'd take you along today. I'm going to Yorkdale to do a few errands. And I'm just wearing like a cotton shirt and a light jacket, and I was going to wear a heavier jacket, but I'm glad I didn't because I'm warm. So the camera is facing Lawrence Avenue West. And here's bike route 31 South. And you can see the white line there for the bike route. That's obviously a school. Don't know the name of that school. But I like walking through here. It just seems so peaceful, a real sense of community. And there's apartment buildings up here that I quite like because the grounds are always so well maintained. And they're low rises. I like them. I mean, there are some people who I've spoken to who don't like them, don't like this area, but I quite like it. Look at these. Looks like a little community garden, or a wannabe community garden, with these bottles that look like bumblebees. I think that's creative. Oh, what does this car say? So, community vehicular, what does that say? Reclamation project? Oh yeah, it reminds me, I think there's a vehicle like that in Kensington Market, I think. So I think they plant in there. There's hay. Or maybe that's straw. Looks like straw. And so I don't walk this walkway. I cut through this apartment complex that I was referring to earlier. I like this apartment complex. Looks like there's 3 levels of living space, or 3 floors rather of apartments, it looks like. I think this is Flemington Park. Is that the community that I'm walking in? I should double check that. I will make sure to include that at the bottom of the screen, what neighborhood this is that I'm walking through. You know, I walk through neighborhoods, certain neighborhoods, like for years, and don't know the neighborhood's name. Is that just me, or does that happen to you guys too? Let me know in the comments below. If you walk through neighborhoods and don't necessarily know what neighborhood you're walking in, but you know the neighborhood and its streets intimately. We're on Varna Drive. Yeah, so the street that's just behind here, or rather on the front of these apartments where I'm walking towards, that's Varna Drive. Now I know I do like these apartment buildings. They probably do need to be upkept, but I like it. So it says Flemington Road. So maybe this is Flemington Park neighborhood. I'll confirm that. And it is I'm feeling a cooler breeze because I think it wants to rain. Oh, and there's the 109B bus. 109B bus. Varna Drive that we just came off of, actually. And this must be Flemington. Yeah. According to the sign on the apartment we just passed, says Flemington Road. So this is Flemington Road that we're walking along. And then I walk to the end of this road, and then it takes me to a park, and then right behind the park is Yorkdale Mall. See, low rises here. You know, I wonder how long these low rises are going to last before this prime real estate, because it's just off of Bathurst, on Lawrence, easy access to transit, shopping, that they're going to raise these buildings in order to rise them 50 stories. Okay, squirrel, cross. There's a car coming. Smart guy, he turned and retreated back to from where he came. Oh, we're in Lawrence Heights. Okay, that's where we are. Lawrence Heights. That's the community. How many times have I walked by that sign? How many times have I ridden down that road? That's the road when I'm taking my bike. This is the road I often turn off of and onto, coming and going from the bike route. Called Old Meadow Lane, and that's just the camera's not going to pick it up, but the direction that the cars are heading, that is just beyond that is Lawrence Avenue. So we're walking parallel. I'm walking west, so I'm parallel to Lawrence and walking west to Yorkdale. So we're at Flemington Road Public School. And there's a community services building. Now we're going to be crossing over the Allen momentarily. So I wanted to tell you guys about some good TV series that we've been watching, or maybe they're Netflix. They're not. It's not cable TV, I don't think. It's Netflix, I think, or Prime, you know, one of those paid TV channels. Oh, wow, look at, this is typical. Look at how busy the Allen south to Lawrence is. There never seems to be a good time of day to be driving from Yorkdale and going north on the Allen. You either get off at Lawrence or you go a little bit further south and get off at Eglinton. But Eglinton is just as busy and crowded as this. Nothing like sitting in traffic. And sometimes some drivers, they don't like to wait in line, so they crawl up to sort of the, not the beginning of the line, but from where the road sort of ends before the merge lane, or the off lane, off ramp begins. And they hope to get in. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt and just think that they missed the turn, but I kind of think that's not what happens. I kind of think that people hope someone's going to let them in so they don't have to wait in line. Anyway, on to some better discussion. I want to talk to you about some TV, as I mentioned. So we've watched, there was a series, it was called The Dropout, about Elizabeth Holmes, you know, the woman that owned Theranos, the medical equipment company that said that they could test with one drop of blood. They could test a multiple of illnesses that you might have. So if you give a drop of your blood, their technology would be able to determine whether or not you have cancer or you know, any multitude of diseases. And anyhow, Elizabeth Holmes, I think her trial concluded this year, I think 2022, or maybe it was 2021, where she was found guilty. But anyhow, this series talks about how she started the company and sort of the levels of, I guess, deceit or avoidance, fraud, I guess, that she sold to her shareholders, and her shareholders were major players. They were like people that everybody knows. George Shultz, who was the Secretary of Defense during what, I think, was it the Clinton or the Reagan era? I don't remember. Anyway, George Shultz was the Secretary of Defense, and he was an investor. Or maybe he was on the board. I can't remember. Anyhow, he played a big role, in supporting Theranos. And of course, having names like him, and there were other major players, like big-time players, people with clout that invested and or were on the board. And she, Elizabeth Holmes, had a gift for persuading people, having people believe in her. But the series also spoke a lot about her and her character and just her mannerisms, how she spoke, and she really admired Steve Jobs and how she dressed like him, the black turtleneck and black suit. Anyhow, it was really so well done. I thought, both David and I thought it was extremely well done. And the episodes went by quickly, and we're darn, that went by so quickly. We wanted them to last longer. So I can't remember if there were 6 or 8 episodes. The other one that we saw was, so that was called The Dropout. The other one was called, oh my God, I just lost it. I had it at the tip of my tongue. It was about Uber, the pay for hire, like taxi, I guess, for lack of a better description. So it's about Uber, and what was it called? Darn, I'll put the name down, okay? You'll come to me after, of course, I stopped recording. But anyway, so it's about the fellow who started Uber, and, young, just like Elizabeth Holmes, young, and Uber, that fellow, he was really young. And so it talked about him and how he grew Uber, but then it also talked about, all the scandal that it was involved, that Uber was involved with, particularly in how they treated their employees, women employees. And anyhow, so that came to light. And so the guy who, founded Uber, smart, like super smart, but, narcissism and inflated egos really have a way of, bringing people down. And although he was very smart, good businessman in many respects, he was very short-sighted in other respects, but smart for sure. But anyhow, it talks about him and how he develops Uber, and he just sort of stops at nothing to grow this company. And again, really, really well done. It talks about the growth of Uber, and it talks about how he sort of was, I guess, no longer part of Uber, or how he, sort of ended with Uber. I don't know if he still has a stake at it or not in Uber. I don't know any of that. But anyhow, it's really well done. So it talks about the rise of Uber and the people that were involved. And it talks about the scandal. And it talks about him and his character and his treatment of people. We're on Javelin Lane and Flemington. Is it Drive or Road? Yeah, Javelin Lane and Flemington Road. So just another interruption. I remember, so these apartments or condos, or maybe a combination of both. I remember when these were townhouses, very similar to what you see across the way there. You know, the yellow side paneling and the red brick. Those same townhomes were all along here. This is new. This is probably, within the last 5 years. I'm jaywalking. Yeah, probably within the last 5 years. No more than 10, I don't think. For sure, no more than 10. Anyway, yeah, so that's really good too. That's, again, I'm not sure if it's 6 or 8 episodes. Really well done. And there was, well, we're still watching Bridgerton, like the 2nd season. I'm just having a hard time with it. I'm not finding it nearly as entertaining as season 1. And there's a 3rd. Oh yeah. The guy from, yeah, you know, WeWork, the organization WeWork. Again, I have forgotten the title of this series. It's about, again, I don't know, 6 or 8, 10 episodes. But it's about the founder of WeWork and his wife, Rebecca Peltro. Yeah, and then her married last name. I can't remember what it is, but anyhow, she is the wife of the founder of WeWork. Is apparently the cousin of Gwyneth Paltrow, the actress. But anyhow, this show was so good, and it talks about the development of WeWork. We're at Yorkdale Park right now. This is Yorkdale Park. This is the park I was telling you about that that kind of feeds right into Yorkdale Mall. Anyway, so it is about the development of WeWork, and you know how the founder of WeWork, the main founder, I guess, how he has a way of persuasion. Like he has a real talent persuading people to invest and to work hard, and there's something quite likable about his character versus the other 2 shows I was telling you about, the one about Elizabeth Holmes and the one about the creator of Uber. Those two people, as they were characterized in the shows, are less likable. But this fellow who founded WeWork, and his name's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, there's something very charming about him. You kind of like him, but yeah, I know when you look back to watching the show, you think there's certainly some short-sightedness. But anyhow, he had a way to build this, you know, huge organization and get investors to invest gazillions of dollars. Anyhow, we haven't finished that one. We're still watching it, but it's really good. So those 3, the one about Elizabeth Holmes, the one about Uber, and then the WeWork one, excellent if you are interested in checking them out. I think they're on Netflix. I don't know, just Google, and of course Dr. Google will tell you everything. Anyhow, folks, I'm at Yorkdale Mall. I have beat the rain, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to walk home entirely because it definitely wants to rain. And yeah, I think I will conclude this video here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Please set your notifications so that every time I upload a video, you are in the know. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in my next video. This is Boomer Girl Walking, signing off.